morning, everybody. Ken Rodriguez for NAGP TV, bringing you the penultimate round of the North American Grand Prix inaugural Assetto Corsa GT2 League from the ultra-fast Monza circuit in Italy. After his win last week at Macau, Jon Ludden has gained a bit of ground on Brad Merris in the Drivers' Championship, with the deficit now being 19 points between Ludden in second and Merris in first. In the Team Championship, Precision Motor Racing failed to gain any ground on their rivals last week after both drivers failed to take the checkered flag. PMR's lead in the team classification is now down to only 6 points over Suspect Speed Racing, who is quickly gaining a lot of ground for that team championship. The racing begins tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern on NAGP TV, with live coverage of qualifying followed immediately after by the 250-kilometer race from Monza. Certainly a critical race in terms of championship points tonight for both the drivers and team championships. We hope you can tune into the broadcast for another thrilling night of racing. So, taking it out on the track for some live coverage. We are still in the practice session, which should be coming to a close here. I believe that the administrators of the race venue, the race event, are still waiting on some folks to join the server and get online, get ready for this great race that we are expecting here at the Monza circuit, aka Cathedral of Speed. Certainly one of the most famous tracks worldwide in all of motorsports. Known for the Formula One race, and we switch over to the qualifier. And now immediately you will start seeing some of these guys jump out early on, trying to get the best laps that they can. 25 minutes of qualifying. It is expected to be a barn burner race tonight. A lot of drafting, a lot of bump drafting going on with some of these cars. It's gonna be something spectacular to watch tonight. So we are happy that you guys are joining us, and we invite you to sit back, grab a cup of coffee or your favorite soft drink, and just join us here for all the live action from Monza. So speaking of the Cathedral of Speed circuit, let's go ahead and bring up a track map of what the Monza circuit looks like today and how we are racing it in what layout. So it is an 8-turn course, all high speed, with the exceptions of turn 1, Variante del Retifilo. There, these drivers are coming from top speed, 6th gear, screaming RPMs, and they're jamming it all the way down, heavy on the brakes, all the way into gear number 1 to make that really tight right-hander and left-hander. And of course, the competition committee is going to have their eyes peeled for those that try to get a little bit ahead of themselves and cut those corners. Of course, this is a self-marshalling track. You cut those corners, your lap is invalidated, and if you do cut 3 times, that is a 1-lap penalty according to our judges. Curva Parabolica, turn number 8, of course, one of the most contentious parts of the track for these drivers. This is a turn that you want to take at as high a speed as you possibly can, getting the entry and exit in correct at this turn, all crucial because it sets you up for that long run down the start-finish stretch all the way down to turn 1. So we'll jump on board with some of these drivers now. They are all on out laps. These laps are essentially their warm-up laps, where the timing does not count as much as it is to get those tires up to operating temperatures. We're going to go ahead and bring up the live timing and scoring here right now. And pay no mind to the lap times that you see pop up there. These drivers, during practice, I tell you, they're going to shatter some of these times you see up there. Amazingly so. So we'll go ahead and jump on board with Al Merriman, who is now on a hot lap, following David Poole around this crazy circuit of Monza. Taking it on board with David Poole. David Poole looks to be the early pace setter with a 150 flat. Oh, Al Merriman counters back. 149 flat. Unbelievable. And the lap times just keep on falling. Jon Ludden, early leader after one lap with a 148.9. Al Merriman in second with a 149 flat. Brad Maris now with a 149 flat. Just 13 thousandths of a second right behind Al Merriman's best time so far. Ian Jolicoeur jumps up. Johnny Ackerman now taking over the fourth spot. So we'll go ahead and try and find some of these guys around the track. Brad Maris driving that yellow Ferrari 458. Jack Ivey in the Corvette. Jack Ivey has become a regular here on the Thursday night NAGP Assetto Corsa GT2 League, filling in the sub role. Has not committed to a race team, but I'll tell you that there has been a race team that has been in need of a sub driver week after week, and Jack has been all too happy to oblige and sit in to help the teams out as best as he can. Ian Jolicoeur. Oh, Ian losing it and finding the barrier. He'll be taking it back to the pits. Bjorn Heyman. So Al Merriman and Thomas Schubeck out on track right now. It is still Jon Ludden in the early going with about 19 minutes left of qualifying to go. Brad Maris in P2, Al Merriman in third, John Ackerman in fourth, and Ian Jolicoeur in fifth. Johnny McIntyre out on track. Currently sitting in 11th with a 152.1. And he's going to go ahead and pull it off. Kreshnik Khalili joining a little bit late in the qualifying session, but Kreshnik now out there sitting in 10th with a 150.6. Oh, nearly loses it coming out of turn one. And as we see a little bit of a crowd forming now coming into the turn one chicane. Jump on board with Mike Greatrix racing out of Canada. Mike Greatrix currently sitting in 11th with a 150.8, looking to better that lap time and move up the proverbial ladder here at qualifying. 16 minutes left to go. So, Brian Mongrain finally taking out to the track. Driving a very fast looking number 10 Ferrari 458. Oh, and he finds the kitty litter. Not the way you want to try and get a fast lap around this track. Matt Taylor currently sitting 8th with a 150.4. So Jon Ludden, your early pole setter, wow, just on the cusp of breaking below 140, below the 148 mark. Tom Schubeck in 7th with a 149.9. The points all important here tonight for driver and team championships. Looks like Jon Ludden came out here to Italy meaning business tonight with an early pole set 148.290. Ian Jolicoeur currently sitting in 5th with a 149.355. Not a bad time, very respectable. Going through Della Rosa, and let me tell you something, folks. These curbs here, they're unforgiving through Della Rosa and Retifalo turns 1, then the turn 3 complex. Very unforgiving. You don't want to put those wheels over those curbs, man. It'll put you all kinds of sideways. On board with John Houston as John takes it through Ascari as quickly as he can. John Houston currently sitting in 16th with a 152.7, looking to better that time. Struggling just a little bit here at the ultra-fast Monza circuit. Just over 13 minutes left in the qualifying session. So sorry for the brief pause there, folks. We had an audio technical issue, so I apologize for that. Okay, back to the action on board. Jack Ivy driving that Corvette C6R through the Parabolica turn, final turn before the start-finish straight. Again, entry exit speed, all important here. Jack posting up a 151.592. Let's bring up our timing and scoring. So Jack Ivy puts up his best time, and that moves him up to 13th. So Jack taking it back to the pits. Go ahead and move on. We'll jump on board with Johnny Ackman, currently sitting in 4th spot. A little under 10 minutes left to go in qualifying here. And as you can see, a lot of cars coming out of the pits. We might start getting bunched up right around turn 1. So Ian Jolicoeur now jumping up into the 3rd spot with a 149 flat of his own. Brian Mongrain currently sitting in 5th, 149.330. And the surprise of the evening, Ian Jolicoeur. Oh, and Ian's going to go ahead and take it off track. We'll jump on board with Kreshnik Khalili. Kreshnik Khalili currently sitting in 11th spot with a 150.6 best time. And Jeremy Bryant, one of the newest members here in NAGP, driving that beautiful looking black and yellow 70 Corvette. Matt Taylor currently sitting in the 10th spot with a 150.18. Looking to better his time. And good old Mike Greatrix. Mike Greatrix still out there trying to find some more speed out of that Ferrari 458. His best time of 150.844. Taking a look at John Wathen. John Wathen out there in 16th spot with a best of a 152.166. John Wathen out there trying to get some speed as well. And folks, I gotta tell you, Monza plays no favorites. No favorites here. Either you got it or you don't. This is an unforgiving track in that if you screw it up, it's just hard to make it back up. As we see a little bit of a bobble from John Wathen as he went through the Ascari chicanes, but manages to keep it on track. David Poole currently sitting in 8th spot. David Poole's best time of a 149.71. Trying to get as much speed as they can out of these Ferraris. I tell you, tonight's a Ferrari and Corvette show. Gotta tell you, can't wait until we get some more cars into these car packs. Mike Gratrix now posting up a 150.345. That's Mike's personal best tonight. John Houston in the Mad Croc Corvette. Allowing your pole sitter Jon Ludden, as you see him go off-roading there a little bit, by with just 4 minutes 45 seconds left in qualifying. And Brad Maris, looks like Brad Maris may have taken over the top spot. We're waiting for the timing to update. Or he did a best time of a 148.8. Sorry about that. And now Johnny Ackerman jumping up into the second spot with a 148.74. Got 3 minutes and 45 seconds left of qualifying. These guys are out there trying to lay down a really hot one as best as they can. It's not easy around Monza to do such a thing. It just isn't. It is it may be an all-out speed track, but it does require a certain level of precision to drive around the turns and through the chicanes with as minimal speed scrub as possible. You don't want to lose speed going through these turns. David Poole getting pushed down to 9th now. David Poole struggling to get some speed out of that Ferrari tonight. Jon Ludden just tearing up the track here tonight. Whoa, as he nearly takes it off the circuit. On board with your provisional pole sitter. And that's not going to work. So Al Merriman takes it just a little bit wide. Getting around Bjorn Heyman. Bjorn Heyman getting out of the way fast and in a hurry. Oh, and Al just loses it in Parabolica. Two-minute warning. Yeah, Gup, they do. These, if you saw how Jon Ludden went through the second set of chicanes, they do have will travel like a rally car, at least visually. So taking a look at P3, Brad Maris driving the all too happy, all yellow number 66 Ferrari F458. finding the barrier here tonight. Just about 45 seconds left to go. We're gonna go ahead and bring it into the pits as we get ready to go live racing here for 250 kilometers at the Monza circuit. Max distance is 43 laps tonight. So with that, we're going to wind it down. And there is the checkered flag signifying the end of the quali session. And here we go immediately over to race with about 2 minutes of prep time for these drivers to make their changes, last minute setup changes. The way this works, folks, is that once the race starts, I go ahead and get out of here back into the pits, and then I'll start bringing you guys the live action. Countdown clock at 1:10. Just waiting for those race lights to come on. We are now down to 45 seconds. So the start in turn 1 is probably going to be all important here. You know, this is the first time that we race at Monza GT2 Assetto Corsa. I can't imagine that it's much different than any other sim that we've run here at the North American Grand Prix. So there may be some mayhem at that first turn. So Jon Ludden out to the early lead as they come into turn 1. And boy, what a fracas. What a fracas. I knew it was going to be a barn burner, but let's see here. We saw some cars kind of go off into the sunset back there. We're going to have to figure out who did what, who's where, but your race leader, Jon Ludden, is out in front. He is followed by Brad Maris and John Ackerman, Ian Jolicoeur. Oh, as we see Tom Schubeck taking the short route through the chicane there. We'll go ahead and check out this field. Looks like Brian Mongrain may have gotten caught up in that turn 1 issue. Not exactly sure. The only way to absolutely tell is going to be watching that replay. So we are now going on board with John McIntyre. John McIntyre is he's currently running around the 16th spot as they bring it into Parabolica, having to check up on those brakes. Oh! Jack Ivy dipping to the inside. Freshen and Khalili, Jack Ivy, John McIntyre. Bumper to bumper racing going on here. Jack Ivy taking the defensive line. Can he hold it? Can he hold it? Oh, John Wathen looking to put the moves on John McIntyre early on in this race. Out front, Jon Ludden, your race leader. He is laying the early smackdown right now. He is starting to check out and gap. Brad Maris running in second. Ian Jolicoeur in third. John Ackerman in fourth. Let's go ahead and cycle through some of these cars. Al Merriman currently running in fifth. Being hunted down by Jeremy Bryant, Tom Schubeck, Mike Greatrix, and David Poole in a very heated battle. Typically, David Poole, one of the faster drivers here at the NAGP league, he is having a fight. He is having a fight with Tom Schubeck and Mike Greatrix, who are all currently racing for P7. This is some really good racing. David Poole taking a look on the inside. Is he going to get it done? Mike Greatrix. Oh, heavy on the brakes from Mike Greatrix. Oh, it looks like they contacted. Looks like there was some contact there. Mike Greatrix losing some spots now. Getting hung up on one of those high barriers. Oh, bad luck for Greatrix. Who's now got Jack Ivy. Got a run on him. Both of these guys out of, I believe, Bowmansville, Ontario, Canada. They both live real close to the Canadian Tire Mosport circuit. So now we've got races going on. Oh, Mike Greatrix finds the kitty litter once again. Allows John McIntyre to get by. And here comes John Wathen. John Wathen keeping it a little bit conservative, not trying to put an aggressive move on Mike Greatrix. Perhaps seeing that Mike's car is just a bit unsettled at the moment. And John Houston taking to the air. I don't know what's going on, folks. The server renderings are just a little weird tonight. So, taking it a little bit further up now, John McIntyre trying to hunt down Jack Ivy. Jack Ivy saying, see ya, I'm out of here. So, we're going to leave these guys to their race. Going to move it up a little bit further. So, we still, well, David Poole still having that battle with Tom Schubeck. Now Ian Jolicoeur, because of his cut, is going to lose some spots. He can't go too quick until he serves his penalty. Guys, maximum tires off the racing surface is 3 tires. You take that 4th tire off, you are getting caught out there. There's no ifs, no ands, no buts about it. You got to keep it on track. So Tom Schubeck having a great run here tonight, running in 6th, gapping David Poole just slightly. Jeremy Bryant up in 5th, and Al Merriman in 4th, with John Ackerman just ahead of him. Oh, Al taking it a little bit wide. Brad Maris currently running in second, and Jon Ludden just kind of out there all by his lonesome. Let's see, can we even see Jon Ludden up in the distance? Doesn't appear that we can. Jon Ludden is just checked out. He's gone. Whoa, Tom Schubeck. Well, no, I'm sorry, that wasn't Thomas. That was let's try and get that back. Oh, it was John Houston? Doubt it. So now Mike Greatrix falls back to 14th. Duking it out with Mr. Houston. Puts the pass coming down the front straight on him. Oh, and John with a defensive line. So it's John Wathen in 13th, John Houston 14th, and Mike Greatrix in 15th. Duking it out right now. So John McIntyre still on the hunt for Jack Ivey. I mean, we're only a few laps into this thing, folks. Boy, oh boy, again, I'm sorry, folks. I think I figured out what the problem is. My keyboard might have had a loose connection. Just checked it out because I couldn't control anything there. And couldn't press the voice button. So, Gup got that coming up for you right now, and there it is. Now, the only problem is that we don't see 2nd through 6th because it focuses on me being in 17th spot. So, back to the live racing action. Let's go ahead and take it up a little bit. So, Mac and Ivy, 11th and 12th, still having their little battle going on right now. So, we'll go ahead and take it up just a little bit. Kreshna Khalili currently running in 10th, and Matt Taylor in 9th. Looks like Ian Jolicoeur just got the moves on mighty Matt Taylor. And so David Poole Running in 7th, Tom Schubert. Whoa! And David Poole loses it. That's going to cost him. Yes, it certainly will. It's going to cost him dearly. Oh my goodness. He only half the field got past him. David Poole not having a good night here tonight. Like I said, folks, Monza plays no favorites. So Schubert gets some breathing room. Jeremy Bryant kind of out there all by himself. Al Merriman. Al running in 4th. John Ackerman in 3rd. So we're looking at John Ackerman, who's got Brad Maris in his sights. However, Brad looks to be holding a comfortable gap to Johnny at this time. So, you know, it was still fairly early in the first stint for these guys. And it looks like Jon Ludden may have had somewhat of an off, because it looks like Brad Maris and John Ackerman have made some tremendous inroads to Jon Ludden's position. We're going to go ahead and move up here a little bit. And sure enough, well, I gotta tell you, it's a little comical watching these cars go over those high curves. As one of our viewers, Douglas, mentioned, they have rally car suspensions when they do so. So Brad Maris, hot on the heels of Jon Ludden, your race leader. Let's see if we can't figure out what lap we're on here. Nope, doesn't look like we're going to be able to bring that to you right now. However, we're on board with Brad Maris. Brad Maris currently trying to wear down Jon Ludden. Brad Maris deep into the braking zone. Jon Ludden deep into the braking zone. Neither one of these cars giving up any, and not even an inch. So there's your race leader, Jon Ludden. Jon Ludden knowing all too well what's on the line here tonight. A race win could very well put Jon Ludden in a position of championship winner here for the Thursday night Assetto Corsa GT2 League. And next week, folks, just so that you guys are aware, it is the final round. And it's going to be at the notorious Nordschleife circuit. So, you guys want to tune in for that. I'm telling you now, you want to tune in for that. So, your race leader, Jon Ludden, and Brad Maris in 2nd, Johnny Ackerman in 3rd, Al Merriman in 4th. And quick note about Al, I got to tell you guys that Al has been a tremendous competitor here in the Assetto Corsa Thursday Night League. As you all know, Al and Brad are the broadcasters for the Monday Night GTR2 GT2 League, and they bring you that live action week after week, and they always do a phenomenal job with the broadcasting, with the programming. So Hats off to them for the job that they do here at the NAGP League, and also Al being the owner and president of NAGP. For as many years as I can remember, Al has been bringing us all the fun here at NAGP, and we want to give him a big thanks. And speaking of bringing you all the fun, NAGP, we do not charge you to race. However, it is not free. It does cost some money to run the web servers and the race servers. I think something to the tune of $300 US a month. And so we are donation supported. And we ask that if you guys like what you see, you guys come out to race or watch the broadcast, like what you see, go ahead and throw us a couple of bucks every month. We would certainly appreciate it, so that way we can keep this league going strong. It is a very organized and fair league, perhaps one of the premier leagues out on the internet right now. You're not going to find a better community of folks that get together week after week to just share some time on track virtually. You can head on over to NorthAmericanGP.com and make your donation. And of course, we certainly appreciate it. We also have t-shirts, North American Grand Prix t-shirts for sale. You can click on the link on the homepage that says get yours today. And I believe that Al has some in every size still available. So if you want to get your hands on one of our stylish t-shirts, they cost 20 bucks, shipped anywhere in the world for $20 US. You can't beat that price, folks. So back to the action on track. Jon Ludden, Brad Maris, John Ackerman, and Al Merriman, your top four. Jeremy Bryant, a ways back, has Ian Jolicoeur. Ian Jolicoeur now has moved up to 6th, and Ian Jolicoeur on a tear right now. Ian Jolicoeur with some good pace, trying to hunt down Jeremy Bryant for 5th. Mighty Matt Taylor running in 7th. Christian Khalili in 8th, and David Poole in 9th. David Poole having an off a little bit earlier. We caught that on the broadcast. Tom Schubeck, let's take a look at where he's showing on our... he's currently showing in P15. I don't think that could be right. I'm sorry, that's Jack Ivey. That wasn't Thomas Schubeck. My bad, folks. I apologize for that. So, oh, Jack Ivey with a big spin, putting it nose first into the tire wall. Oh my goodness. That is certainly going to cause some havoc here. He might end up coming into the pits early. Oh no, it looks like he's going to stay out there. Jack Ivey with a bit of a spin. John McIntyre getting by Jack Ivey, and now John Houston, who's currently running in 12th, gains a little bit of ground, but it looks like John Houston has been having all sorts of trouble trying to find some performance out of that Corvette C6R here tonight at the Monza circuit. Yeah, Gup, I'm not sure that I can see the damage on the cars in multiplayer. That's something I believe that they're working on, but I should be able to see the cracked windshield, and I don't see that on Jack's car. So, not exactly sure when they're going to fix that, but would be good to see. Thomas Schubeck on the outside of John Wathen. Whoa! John Wathen not letting off. We got ourselves a race for P13 here between Tom Schubeck. Oh! And Wathen finding the barrier wall. Mike Ratrix not too far behind them. No doubt Mike Ratrix saying, yeah, go ahead, find the barrier. It gives me a chance to catch up to you guys and we can race. John Wathen taking a little bit wide through the first part of Ascari. Might be a sign of tire wear. So John McIntyre's got a fan out in the chat room. Gub Douglas yelling out, "Go Mac!" Oh, so John Wathen with a bit of a wheel spin coming out of turn one. Giving Mike Ratrix an opportunity to pull within his draft zone. Wathen heavy on the brakes. Oh, takes it wide, and he's got a... Oh boy, that forces him to give up the spot. Yep, and he's got to bring it down, serve the penalty, and get going. So now Bjorn Heyman, Bjorn Heyman will also get by, and that now relegates Mr. Wathen down to 16th. Tough luck there. So now, whoa, we've lost Jon Ludden. Jon Ludden must have had an off, or nope, sorry. Jon Ludden pitted. That gives Brad Maris the lead now. Followed by John Ackerman. And I apologize, folks. You know, unfortunately, Assetto Corsa right now, hopefully as they add features, we'll get the opportunity to know when these folks are pitting in. So your race leader now is Brad Maris. Brad Maris having to correct his steering coming through Parabolica. Brad Maris gonna stay out. Ackerman stays out. Merriman stays out. Jeremy Bryant stays out. No doubt Ian Jolicoeur stays out. So we now have, let's see here, Bjorn Heyman is in the pits. So on board with Kreshnik Halili chasing down Jon Ludden and David Poole. So Jon Ludden with an early pit stop. boy. There we go. The server acting up again. Perhaps going for a longer second stint. Yeah, Gup, I'd have to agree. Not even, well, we've just about hit the 30-minute mark on a 250-kilometer race. Don't think these guys are going to go for 2 stops. That would be a bit odd. So Jon Ludden chasing down David Poole, who is in 7th right now. David Poole heavy on the brakes, so is Jon Ludden, as is Kreshnik Khalili. Mighty Matt Taylor trying to hold him off, keep as fast a pace as he can. Ian Jolicoeur is currently running in 5th and Jeremy Bryant in 4th. Merriman in 3rd. Ackerman in 2nd, and Brad Merris still your race leader. He's out there just laying some smackdown. Looks like Mike Ratrix is going to duck into the pits to get his car serviced while Brad stays out. Al stays out. Johnny Ackerman stays out. So now you have Ian Jolicoeur chasing down Jeremy Bryant. These guys are racing for the 4th position right now, and Ian Jolicoeur certainly pulling up on Bryant's bumper. However, that Corvette's got some strong legs coming out of these corners. If Jolicoeur is going to want a challenge for that spot, he's going to have to keep it smooth and steady through these corners. But we've got us a race for P4 going on right now between Jolicoeur, Jeremy Bryant. Brad Merris, your race leader, coming through the Parabolica curve. He's going to keep it out, it looks like. Doesn't look like he's trying to duck into any pits just yet. Ackerman and Merriman will keep it out as well. So the fastest lap of the race so far has been Jon Ludden with a 149.5. So your top 3 about evenly spaced right now. They're going to keep it out on track right now. Jack Ivy has just come out of the pits. Currently running in P12. Way to go, Jack, man. Get them points. Jack, my former Thursday night broadcast partner, has left me all alone. Good question, Gup. I'm not sure. I believe that Jon Ludden was the winner last. Yeah, Jon Ludden was the winner last week. We did not get to ask him if he double stinted tires, though. Give him a shout out in the forums, and he may be able to answer that question for you. So, Bjorn Heyman with some very fast guys coming up on him. We've got a serious race going on for P4 as Ian Jolicoeur going to take a look on the outside, coming down that back straightaway into Parabolica, and he's got that pass made. John Wathen just ahead. Keep it on track, John Wathen. Give them the inside track if you're going to let them go by. That's the way to do it. Oh, Ian Jolicoeur going to duck into the pits. So Ian Jolicoeur now in the pits. That moves Jeremy Bryant back up into fourth now. Al Merriman now getting into a little bit of a heated battle with Johnny Ackerman as the gap closes, no doubt because of tire wear. These guys are having to kind of gingerly go through these corners. Not an easy thing to do here, but again, because of the high speeds at Monza, tire wear and degradation of your compounds is pretty key here. So Al looking to chase down John Ackerman. Will go on board with the dash cam. Watching as Al Merriman tries to catch up with Johnny Ackerman. It closed the gap last lap, and Ackerman seems to be able to pull a gap throughout the course of a lap on Al. Ludden now up to fifth. Okay, now there's a weird thing. Chris Moses just jumped on board. Not sure what that all is about. Now running at 12th, and on board with your race leader, Brad Maris. And let's see. Yep, no, he's going to keep it out one more lap. taking the inside line coming out of Parabolica. I thought Brad Maris was maybe going to duck it into the pits. He decides against it and opts to stay out another lap. So Brad Maris is certainly a good strategist when it comes to pitting and fueling his cars and stuff like that. And not only that, once he's got the lead, he really doesn't want to give it up either. Who can blame him? I wouldn't want to give up the lead if I had it either. But unless Brad pitted early, I believe he's yet to pit. Ackerman and Al, these guys are still lockstep. Chris Moses perhaps out there taking some practice laps. Moses running in 17th. Not quite sure what he's doing out there. Jack Ivey running in 13th. John Houston up to 11th after having a bit of a shaky start here. So John Houston now one outside the top 10. Mighty Matt Taylor up to 5th. And Ian Jolicoeur still running in 6th. Now Ian Jolicoeur just pitted about a lap and a half ago. So we'll have to see how this plays out for some of the other drivers. Krishna Khalili, David Poole having a bit of a battle of their own here. But John McIntyre just ahead of them. So it's John McIntyre 8th. Oh, Krishna Khalili with the outside pass. David Poole saying not so fast. I'm going to take it back. And shuts that door quickly on Kreshnik. Kreshnik with a bold move, but not able to keep it going. So we now have it's John McIntyre in 8th, David Poole in 9th, and Kreshnik Khalili in 10th. And so Johnny McIntyre having a terrific run here tonight. Inside the top 10. Schubeck almost loses it coming into the pits. So now your race leader, Al Merriman. Al Merriman now into the pits. And this is going to play some position changing as Jon Ludden, now coming out of Parabolica, no doubt will take back over the lead. Jon Ludden moves back up to the top of the order. Woo, Jack Ivey taking it wide through turn 1. Blue flag on Jack Ivey. That was near dangerous. So, let's see here. Tom Schubeck. Tom is in 13th. Brad Maris in 3rd. Al in 2nd. Now, these guys have all pitted, so we're going to have a bit of a race here between Brad Maris and Al Merriman. your Monday night GTR2 broadcast host and co-host. Both on fresh fuel and fresh tires. Yep, not going to be easy to catch Al because Al has been running fairly consistent laps here, lap after lap. Now Ian Jolicoeur is up in 5th spot, but Ackerman is quite a ways ahead of him. Not going to be an easy task to try and catch him. So, Brad Maris, Al Merriman in a heated battle. Jack Ivey's got them coming up on him very soon. What's Jack going to do? We'll go on board with Big Al to see how this shapes up. Oh, we can even go one further. Jack, no doubt, going to give them plenty of room. Let's Al by. Let's Brad by. And Al's got nothing but clear track up ahead of him now. So this battle rages on. We're going to cycle through the field. See who else is out there doing what. Here's a bit of a race that's going to start forming. Tom Schubeck is actually chasing down Jack Ivey. We didn't catch that a little bit earlier, but Tom Schubeck running in 13th, Jack Ivey in 12th. And so these guys are going to enter into quite a bit of a battle themselves here. So Shoes driving hard, trying to catch Mr. Ivey. Wathen getting the blue flag for these two drivers. Oh, and Shoes He's going to take a look down the inside. And it looks like he's going to get that pass done. On board with Ivy. Okay. Now Ackerman coming up on some lap traffic. Ackerman currently running in 4th. And Ackerman gets by with no issues. As Jon Houston pulls it over to the side. Ackerman having a great race. Jon Houston in 13th spot. Now it's got John Wathen. Right. Let's see here. Well, John Wathen is down a lap from Houston's position. Ian Jolicoeur running in 5th. Jeremy Bryan up in 6th and David Pohl in 7th. Another hot battle that's going on here. Matt Taylor, Kreshnik Khalili. Wow, these guys are all running really close together. On board with David Pohl. As he tries to hunt down Mr. Jeremy Bryan for P6. On the dash cam with David Pohl. Take it, try and take it up front, try and find your race leaders here. So Brad Maris still having to hunt down Al Merriman, and they are split by John McIntyre. Brad gonna have a look on down the inside of John McIntyre. Wow, that's close. So Al just having a great race here tonight, running in 2nd with Brad in 3rd. And both these drivers running very consistently, one to the other. The gap doesn't look to have increased nor decreased. That's just a testament to their consistency of driving around this circuit. And I tell you that Monza could be unforgiving. Several weeks ago, I blew an engine. So, Jon Ludden. Let's see here. What is the interval? Let's see here. So it's Brad Maris in third, Al Merriman in second. Wow, that's not much of an interval there at all, actually. Jon Ludden has been able to pull out a bit of a gap on second and third place. So Jon Ludden out there quite comfortable right now. So by my best guesstimation, Jon Ludden out there by about 8 seconds over second place Al Merriman. And just about a second back to Brad Maris running in third. Oh, Brad Maris working that wheel to keep the car on track. We've got a race forming up here between John Houston and Jack Ivey now for P12. Jack Ivey is currently running at 12th, John Houston in 13th, and it looks like John Houston wishes to challenge Jack for that spot. It looks like they have Ian Jolicoeur just behind them. Take a look. Yeah, just as suspected. Ian Jolicoeur is right behind him, but John Houston in a battle for that spot with Jack Ivey. Oh, and John gonna take a look on the inside. Will it work? Oh, John Houston gets it done. Oh boy, some good racing here as Jack Ivey takes a look on the inside. Now it takes to the outside of the track. John Houston going to defend heavily to keep that position. Ian Jolicoeur saying, hey guys, let me by. Ian Jolicoeur, a gentleman driver, gets by with no issues. Jack Ivey allowing him the opportunity to pass. Now John Houston going to afford him the same. Taking a look at Schubeck right now. Schubeck is running in 10th. So not really challenging anybody for position right now. But John McIntyre just ahead of him. John, you need to get through that turn 1 complex. Turn 1-2 complex real quick, man, because you've got the Schubster right behind you. And so John McIntyre, no doubt his rear view mirror is starting to fill up with the likes of that Mad Croc Corvette. Ooh, John Ackerman having gone off track, having to serve a penalty now. John Ackerman in 4th spot. Man, so we've how many Johns do we have out here? We have got Jon Ludden, Johnny Ackerman, John McIntyre, John Houston, John Wathen, John, just all over the place. It's okay, John. John McIntyre going to let John Ackerman by. As they both come into Parabolica turn. In 10th, trying to hunt down Mr. McIntyre. Ian Jolicoeur running in 5th. John Houston, Jack Ivey, Jeremy Bryant. Jeremy Bryant is up in 6th spot right now. Jeremy's best lap here tonight, a 151.263. Mike Greatrix currently running in 13th position. Fairly unchallenged by anybody at the time. John Wathen in the pits? No. Why? Bjorn Heyman. Bjorn Heyman running in 14th. So Al and Brad still going at it. Coming up on Bjorn Heyman here within the next few corners. And so Al and Brad have been at it for quite a few laps since the pit stops, as a matter of fact. Al Merriman coming up on the likes. Oh, hold it together, Al, hold it together. Coming up on the likes of Bjorn Heyman. Bjorn Heyman, no doubt, seeing that blue flag. Al gonna defend as he takes it down the middle of the track. And he's got Brad on the outside. Who's going to go deeper with a back marker right in front of them? Brad Maris holding the outside line. Al having to check up. Brad Maris now moves up into the 2nd spot. Al Merriman, no doubt, not happy about that. Gonna try and pull the draft. Oh, Brad decides to let him back by. Oh, and Al going deep into the braking zone. Nearly loses it, but holds it together. And Brad Maris backing off just a little bit to give Al the room needed to get his car back on track and straightened out. Some fantastic racing going on here. As I predicted, a barn burner of a race. There goes that rally suspension again. I can't get over that. Whoa, Brad with a bit of a slide going through the first corner of Lesmo. Jon Ludden out there all by his lonesome, trying to put the nail in this coffin. Boy, I gotta tell you, Jon Ludden doing a fantastic job. But right now, the action is for P2 between Brad Maris and Al Merriman. And Brad, having had the opportunity to take that position away, has given it back to Al. Not exactly sure why, because the pass, at least from where I'm sitting, looked to be a clean pass. But you know, online servers can be a rare thing, a rare and funny thing. Oh, Brad Maris heavy on the brakes. No doubt a little flat spotting going on there. This is where the action's at, but we're going to take it back a little bit now for a couple, 2-3 minutes. Or maybe not just... yeah, we can go ahead and take it back a little bit. That's looking at Jack Ivey, Tom Schubeck in 9th. Matt Taylor running in 7th. Ian Jolicoeur running in 5th. John Houston in P11. Jeremy Bryant is running in 6th. Matt Taylor nearly losing it coming out of turn 1, running in 7th. Yep. Halili in 8th. Mike Graytrick still running in 13th. No change there. And your race leader, Jon Ludden, coming out of the Parabolica turn down the front straight. And not too far back from him, Al Merriman, Brad Maris, still the race on track right now, and taking onto the dash cam with Brad Maris, looking to the outside. Now gonna let him by. Brad gets the pass done. Al, I'm sure, not too happy in losing P2 to Brad Maris. No doubt might be looking to make it back up. Man, these guys are really going at it, eh? So we're closing in on the Some of the final laps here. Let's see if we can't determine what lap we're on right now. Nope. Doesn't look like we're going to be able to. I'm sorry. Yes, we will. It looks like we're currently at lap number 37. So we are looking at Al Merriman still having a heated battle with Brad Maris, and these closing laps. Looks like we've got about 6 laps left to go. 5-6 laps. As you hear the screaming engines of the high revving Corvette 458. Al now with a bit of a run. They come into the first turn chicane. Al still not wanting to let Brad get too far ahead of him. No doubt Al would be happy with a podium finish, but no doubt he wants to be on the podium step that sits just a couple inches higher than the one he's currently on right now. So we'll cycle back a little bit here, folks, and see who's where. John Ackerman in 4th, and Tom Schubeck. Schubeck currently running in 9th. He and Joe LaCour in 5th, looking to put Schubeck down a lap. Johnny McIntyre being chased around the track by John Houston. John Houston with a best of 152.501. His last lap of 155.512, so about 3 seconds off the pace from his best lap, his best race lap here at Monza. Jeremy Bryant currently sitting 6th right now as he comes through Ascari. Kreshnik Halili in 8th. Kreshnik having a great run here tonight inside the top 10. No surprise there. Kreshnik, fairly consistent driver here at the NAGP leagues on Thursday nights. Mr. Jack Ivey running in 12th. Your race leader, Jon Ludden. John just about out there by himself. Just about ready to complete lap number 39. Your race leader, Jon Ludden, laying the smackdown, putting on a driving clinic here tonight. As we see that Brad Maris just a little behind them, coming up on some lap traffic. Mike Graytrix gonna let these guys by. Oh, and the gap is now open between Maris and Merriman. As Al has to crank that wheel over. To get through the Parabolica. Al taking the inside line away from Mike to get past them. And Mike Graytrix graciously concedes. So now Brad pulling out a bit of a gap. And so it looks like Ludden is now coming through the Lesmos turn. And Brad now through Lesmos. So again, that gap, I'm not sure if it's shrinking, but so Brad's last lap was a 151.105, and Ludden's was a 151.244, with just 3 little old laps left to go. Ludden posts up a 151 flat. Maris posts up a 150.5. So Brad seems to be the man on the move here with just 2 laps left to complete. My take on things here is that Al Merriman has now conceded that Brad Maris is going to take that second spot on the podium if things finish the way they are right now. It looks like this is how it will shape up to be. Jon Ludden, Brad Maris, and Al Merriman sitting on the podium. Brad Maris pushing very hard right now as he comes through a Scary where Jon Ludden was just a couple seconds ago. So Jon Ludden coming into Parabolica right now. And no, there's about a 12-second gap there, more or less. About a 12-second gap, so looks like this is how things are going to finish out. Let's go back a little bit and see who else is where. Are there any battles going on right now? So this is Bjorn Heyman and Ian Jolicoeur. They are not vying for position right now. However, man, Tom Schubeck is running in 9th. McIntyre and Houston still having a bit of a battle going on back here for P10. Well, let's see how this is going to shape up. They're currently on lap 40, so they're like 1 lap down right now. on board. Jon Ludden, your race leader, as he comes through Parabolica on the penultimate lap. And we are going to stay with your race leader as he now starts the final lap, lap 43. It's been a great run for Jon Ludden here, second week in a row. First Macau, now Monza, and all he's got to do is keep it together for another half a lap. Jon Ludden driving the Corvette, about to lay it down here tonight. April 23rd, 2015, time now 10:49 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. As he comes through Parabolica for one last time, and will cross that finish line at 10:50 p.m. EDT. And there you have it, Jon Ludden taking the win. Brad Merritt's going to finish second. Al Merriman going to finish third. John Ackerman going to finish fourth. Ian Jolicoeur is going to finish 5th. Matt Taylor in 6th. Halili 7th. Bryant 8th. Schubeck in 9th. McIntyre will round out your top 10. And that's the way it is going to end. Absolutely phenomenal race. Let's go ahead and get a hold of Mr. Jon Ludden. See if we can't drag him up here for you guys. Jon Ludden, Ken Rodriguez in the broadcast booth. Do you copy?
Sure do, Ken.
John, an amazing feat. Last week Macau, this week Monza. Boy, what can we expect from you for Nordschleife next week?
Well, I'm just hoping for more of the same, actually.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, it's actually a pleasure to watch you drive. Tonight, I want to say you drove a near flawless race. I saw that you had an early pit. What was your strategy for the longer second stint? Were tires a concern here?
Not really. I just wanted to, Bjorn suggested that we try soft tires, low fuel, do 13 lap stint, just to get out in front, get a little bit of gap. And the mediums were really good for 30 laps. So, sounded like a good idea. So we did it. Good idea. So we did it. Good idea. So we did it.
Yeah, no doubt it worked out for you guys. Absolutely spectacular win. You had Brad and Al not too far behind you. They were having a heated battle, and then towards the last 5 laps or so, it looked like Brad really started putting the pressure. Perhaps a little bit too little, too late, because the gap was around 10 to 12 seconds. I want to guess, and you just drove consistently. But certainly a big congratulations from the NAGP broadcasters, and we hope to see a little bit more of the same next week at the Nordschleife.
All right, thanks a lot, Ken.
All right, buddy. I'm going to go ahead and drop you back down into your team channel, and good luck for next week. So, folks, there you have it. Jon Ludden, your race winner yet again this week. He's gotten two in a row. Not typical to see here at the NAGP, given the level of competition. But Jon Ludden certainly having a great race both last week at Macau, this week at the Monza circuit, and certainly has put himself into a great position points wise for the driver championship. We'll have more information for you next week. If you are looking forward to getting some of the details, head on over to NorthAmericanGP.com, and you guys can take a look at the forums over there in the Thursday Assetto Corsa League threads and see what the current standings are. So for NAGP Thursday night Assetto Corsa League, I am Ken Rodriguez. We want to thank you for joining us tonight. Everybody have a good evening, and we'll see you again next week.